Hi, I'm Reva Dean. I'm the Special Collections Librarian for Spokane Public Library. What I'd like to do in this video is show you how you can research the history of your house in Spokane. I'm going to walk you through the various websites. So I picked a house at random and I'll show you what I can find about that house, and then you can try it on your own. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start here at the library's main page and go to Get Help With, Inland Northwest Special Collections. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll find a house history page. So come back to this page later, but there's lots of good information. What we're looking for right now is the permit archive. And this is the permit archive that the city has put up for pre-1993 permits. So I'm just going to put in the address. The house I chose was 2810 East 15th Avenue. So if you scroll down a little bit and go to view, the permits are going to come up. They're going to come up really small, and they're not in exact order. So what we're going to do is make it so we can read it, and then just scroll through. And what you're looking for are the names of the owners and the dates. So you could just jot down Roy Johnson, 1951, G.W. Gagne, 1940. This one has a different spelling, so we're going to check on that. So all these different names, you just write down the date, write down the owner. Often the first permit is the side sewer or water, and you can tell that for the really old ones, they're handwritten. So here we have Dewey, 1960. So you've got a bunch of names now. Now here's a side sewer permit, but this is from 1958, so they must have had to move the sewer line. Here's Dewey. Commercial. Okay, so here's that handwritten one, and we see looks like G.H. Gagne. And this one is 1910. It looks like Gagnon here, so we're gonna check on that. And the next thing that we're gonna check is Ancestry. So we're gonna go back to the library's main page. And we're going to go to the databases. Okay, so again, we're going to start at the library main page, and this time we're going to go to Research and Learn, Research Tools A to Z, and we're looking for Ancestry. So if you were to come into the library, you'd be able to use city directories. Starting in 1929, you can look up by address. Before that, you can only look up by name. So there's a little trick you can do using Ancestry. If we go to the city directories and put in Spokane and say exact, and we're going to put in that address again, East 2810 15th, and again say exact, and it's going to give you the people that lived in that house. Now, they're not in exact order, but if you hover over, it'll give you a little more information. And then if you actually want to see the whole page from the city directory, you can do that too under View. So here's that Dewey name, 1958, Johnson, Roy, and there's the Gagne, and it's G-O-N-Y-O-U. And it looks like the Gagnes were there until 1943, so 1910 to 1943. And that's a long time. Sometimes, of course, houses will have one owner for a long time. Others, it changes very often. So you can see it's not an exact order. I'm looking again for that first one. And I think the first one in this case is not going to be quite as early as they were actually there, but there's 1917, Tilly and George Gagne. And you notice that it gives the occupation, which is something they used to do in the city directories. So it can tell you a little bit about the people that lived in your house. Okay, so then we're going to go back to the library's main page. And again, go to Research and Learn, Research Tools A to Z, and we're going to look for ProQuest historic newspapers. You see there's a lot of ProQuest things, but we're going to go to the ProQuest historic newspapers. Okay, so we're going to newspapers. And we're going to put in address. Now, of course, once you have all those names, you can also look under those names that you have to see if you can find more information. But what we're going to do, again, we're going to put in, and in this case, I'm going to spell out the name, though sometimes it's one way and sometimes it's the other, so I would try both. So again, we put in the address and we're going to see what comes up. Now, I like to do the oldest ones first. Well, you see we've got 48 results with that address. And sometimes the things that come up are things like parties. Here's 1911. Let's see what we have there. We click on that, and it's going to give you that whole page of the newspaper, and it's going to highlight the thing that we searched for. So here's a birth of the Ganyus had a child in 1911. Now, if you wanted to actually get that article, you go to Browse this issue. It takes a moment for it to load. And you can go to that page, make it a little bit bigger, and then do a clip with whatever you have on your computer. I can say a little that, and when you do that, make sure you save the name of the paper and the date. So lots of things you could look for. And again, lots of things could be like births, deaths. Sometimes it's just somebody was selling something, somebody was in an accident. But they always put in the person's address. So that's why just all these different things can come up. Somebody was visiting. All right, so the last thing I want to show you is if you're looking for a photograph, the best place to go is to the Northwest Museum of Arts and Culture. And go to Search Photographic Archives. And if you go to Search Collections, and again, I'm in this case, sometimes you can put an exact address, but sometimes you're better off just saying the name of the street, because sometimes it'll just say, oh, house on 15th. Like this one just says Spokane residence. So, okay, so this is West 15th, West 15th, and here's our house, 2810 East 15th, and there's a photo of it, a Libby photo from 1947. Occasionally you'll even find more than one. Sometimes the MAC has a collection called the Barrett Real Estate Records, and sometimes those have the real estate listings along with the photograph. So that'll give you a good start. If you have any questions, you can feel free to contact me, and otherwise, have a happy search.